In life, we meet many kinds of people. Some lift us up while others try to control us. It is important to protect our peace. Spiritual wisdom teaches us how to guard our hearts and minds. Certain things, when shared with the wrong people, become tools they can use against us. Here are 7 deep truths you should never reveal to a manipulator, each supported by timeless teachings that guide us toward freedom and inner strength. Lesson 1. Your insecurities as leverage. One of the most harmful things you can reveal to a manipulator is your personal insecurities. These may be small fears, doubts about your worth, or feelings you haven't yet resolved. When you open up about these tender parts of yourself to someone who doesn't have your best interest at heart, they can, and often will, use them as weapons. They won't offer comfort or growth. Instead, they might repeat your own doubts to you in moments of weakness, slowly breaking down your confidence over time. Spiritual teachings remind us to be aware of who we trust. Trust is not something we give freely to everyone, but something sacred. A manipulator feeds on your self-doubt. They listen not with compassion, but with calculation. Every word you say about your struggles becomes a tool in their hands. They may act supportive at first, but over time, they use your insecurities to control you, guilt-trip you, or make you feel like you can't succeed without them. This is why it is so important to sit quietly with yourself, observe your thoughts without judgment, and begin the path of healing within. When you embrace who you are, flaws and all, you stop needing outside validation. The more you accept your imperfections, the less power they have over you, and the less power anyone else has to use them against you. Silence, when used with wisdom, is a powerful shield. You don't have to share every thought or struggle to be understood or accepted. Those who truly care for you will support your growth without needing all the details of your inner battles. They will walk beside you, not above you. Strength doesn't come from proving yourself to others, especially not those who only seek to gain from your pain. True strength arises from self-understanding and quiet resilience. When we no longer fear our insecurities, manipulators lose their grip on us. We become grounded. We become calm. Let your insecurities be something you gently heal with patience. Share them only with people who have earned your trust through kindness, respect, and honesty. Until then, protect your inner world. It is not a wall. It is a boundary, a sacred space where only peace should live. Lesson 2. Unspoken dreams, future plans. Our dreams and future goals are delicate. Like seeds, they need the right environment to grow. If you plant them in rocky soil, they may never blossom. Sharing your future plans with a manipulator is like placing those seeds in a place where they can be crushed before they sprout. There is an ancient wisdom in keeping certain parts of our path hidden until they are strong enough to stand on their own. When you tell a manipulator about your goals, they may pretend to be supportive. They might say kind words, offer advice, or even pretend to cheer you on. But inside, they may feel threatened or jealous. They may subtly plant doubt in your mind, question your abilities, or shift your focus away from your purpose. The journey toward our dreams is often long and filled with challenges. Doubt is already a natural part of this path, but when that doubt is fed by someone who doesn't want to see you rise, it becomes heavier. It slows you down. It clouds your vision. It makes you hesitate when you should take bold steps. Spiritual wisdom teaches us the power of silence and patience. Not everything needs to be announced. Sometimes it's better to move quietly, trusting your inner guidance. Your plans are sacred. They are meant to be nurtured in silence, watered with discipline, and protected with love. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. Manipulators often see your ambition as a threat to their control. The more you dream, the more independent you become, and that scares them. They may not say it out loud, but they will try to keep you small through fear, distraction, or guilt. They will tell you it's too hard. They will remind you of the times you failed. They will highlight your weaknesses and downplay your strengths. This is why it's so important to walk in quiet confidence. Don't argue, don't explain. Let your actions speak. Let your progress show the truth. Protect your dreams like you would protect a fragile flame in the wind. Choose carefully who you share your future with. those who celebrate you in private, who uplift you without conditions. Those are your people. Until then, stay focused. Trust the process. Keep moving, even if no one sees you yet. Your path is your own. Let it be guided by your truth, not their doubt. Lesson 3. Deepest fears, hidden anxieties. Every human being carries hidden fears. These are the quiet whispers in the back of the mind, the anxieties that visit in the middle of the night. They are personal, often painful, and deeply vulnerable. Sharing these with someone who lacks compassion or understanding can be deeply damaging. When manipulators learn about your fears, they do not respond with comfort. Instead, they store this information for later. They watch how certain topics make you nervous. They listen for what causes you to doubt yourself. Then, when they want to gain control, they press on those fears. They poke the wounds. They trigger your anxieties to make you feel small or dependent. Fear is a powerful emotion. It can cloud judgment, lower confidence, and steal peace. That's why spiritual teachings often focus on mastering the mind, learning to observe fear without letting it control us. The more we understand our fears, the less power they have. But until we do that, it's crucial to protect them from those who might use them against us. A manipulator doesn't need to say much. A simple comment, timed just right, can make your fear explode inside you. They may pretend to care, but they are feeding the very thing you're trying to escape. That's why it's wise to keep your fears safe. Share them only with those who help you face them, not with those who want to keep you stuck in them. You don't need to hide from your fears. You need to face them with courage, but do it in a safe space. Maybe through meditation, self-reflection, or with someone who truly supports you. Healing takes time, and it begins with understanding. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes, silence is strength. When you feel afraid, don't let that be a moment for others to take control. Let it be a moment where you take back your power. Speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself that fear is just a passing cloud. It does not define you. Remember, what you tell others can either empower you or weaken you, depending on who you're speaking to. If someone has shown signs of manipulation, do not offer them the map to your fears. Protect your mind, guard your heart, heal in quiet strength, and slowly, as fear loses its grip, no one will be able to shake your peace again. Lesson 4. Your generosity limits. Kindness is a beautiful thing, but when kindness is not protected with wisdom, it can become a doorway for manipulation. Some people see your generous nature, and instead of being grateful, they look for how far they can push you. That's why you should never reveal the limits of your generosity to a manipulator. The moment they know how much you're willing to give, how much time, energy, money, or forgiveness, they begin to test the edges. They will keep asking for more, and every time you say yes, they move the boundary further. Over time, you find yourself drained, taken for granted, and confused about where things went wrong. Spiritual practice teaches us to give from a full cup. You give not because you are forced, but because you feel joy in giving. When giving starts to feel like a burden or obligation, it is no longer pure. It is being taken from you, not offered by you. And that is a sign that your boundaries are not being respected. Manipulators look for those who feel guilty saying no. They twist your kindness into responsibility. They make you feel selfish for choosing rest. They act like you owe them something for being kind. But true giving is not about debt. It's about freedom, balance, and compassion, not only for others but for yourself too. You do not need to explain why you can't help every time. You do not owe anyone access to all of you. It's okay to say no without guilt. It's okay to protect your energy. In fact, it's necessary. When you keep your generosity quiet and offer it where it's truly needed, it becomes sacred. It's no longer a transaction, it's an act of love. But when someone begins to expect, demand, or guilt you into giving, your giving loses its light. Watch how people respond when you set limits. Those who care for you will respect them. Those who seek to use you will push back. Let that be your test. Protect your kind heart. Offer your time, love, and help with awareness. Know when to rest, Know when to walk away. Your compassion is powerful. Use it wisely. Lesson 5. Past mistakes you haven't processed. Everyone has a past filled with mistakes, regrets, and experiences that were difficult to process. These can be wounds, guilt, or feelings of failure. It is common to want to share these painful parts of yourself with someone you trust, but revealing them to a manipulator is never a good idea. A manipulator does not approach your past with compassion. They do not want to help you heal or offer a space to understand what happened. Instead, they use your past mistakes to control you. They might bring them up at the worst possible moment, reminding you of things you've already struggled to forgive yourself for. They might use your guilt as a tool to keep you feeling small and unworthy. The teachings of inner peace encourage us to confront our past with honesty, but also with self-compassion. We are not our mistakes. They are simply lessons that have shaped us. However, not everyone sees it this way. A manipulator might see your past as a weakness to exploit. They might use your unresolved emotions to trap you in a cycle of shame or guilt, making you feel like you don't deserve happiness or success. It's important to recognize that the past is just that, the past. It cannot define your future unless you allow it. But sharing your unprocessed pain with someone who does not have your best interest at heart only leaves you vulnerable. The more you carry your past in the open without true healing, the more it becomes a tool that can be used against you. Instead of exposing your unhealed wounds to a manipulator, seek healing on your own. The path to self-acceptance and forgiveness begins within. Talk to a trusted friend or counselor who supports your growth. Meditate, reflect, and find peace in your own heart. Release the weight of your past on your own terms, not because someone else is trying to make you feel bad for it. By confronting your mistakes in a safe, loving space, you reclaim the power they once held over you. You learn from them without being shackled by them. You stop living in fear of judgment and start living in the freedom of your present self. Let your mistakes teach you, but don't let them control you. When you keep your past to yourself in moments of vulnerability, you protect the peace you are building. Let go of the idea that your past defines you. You are not your mistakes. You are your ability to heal, grow, and rise again. Lesson 6. Your need for external validation. As humans, we often seek approval and validation from others. It's natural to want recognition for our efforts, to hear words of encouragement when we're striving to achieve something. But relying too heavily on external validation is dangerous, especially when dealing with someone who seeks to manipulate you. A manipulator may sense your need for validation and use it to their advantage. They might offer praise in moments where you least expect it, making you feel special, only to then use your need for their approval as a means to control you. They may manipulate your emotions by offering intermittent validation. One moment you're the best, the next moment they ignore or criticize you. This keeps you constantly seeking their approval, leaving you in a cycle of dependency and uncertainty. In spiritual practice, we are taught that true validation comes from within. The only opinion that should matter is your own. When we are at peace with ourselves, when we understand our own worth, we no longer need others to affirm it. We know our value, we know our strength, we know our journey. When you stop seeking validation from others, you regain your power. No one can use your insecurity against you when you are confident in who you are. This is not about arrogance. It's about inner peace. It's about trusting your intuition, recognizing your unique path, and valuing yourself regardless of outside approval. A manipulator thrives on making you feel like you are not enough on your own. They want you to doubt your abilities, to question your decisions, and to rely on them for direction. When you stop needing their validation, their control over you diminishes. Each time you look inward for validation, you step away from the trap they set. You begin to understand that their praise and criticism are just external noises, nothing more. They have no power over you unless you give it to them. Learn to praise yourself. Celebrate your small victories. Recognize your efforts without needing anyone else to do it for you. When you give yourself the validation you seek, you are no longer vulnerable to manipulation. Lesson 7. Intuitive gut feelings. Your intuition is a powerful tool. It's that quiet, almost imperceptible nudge that guides you toward or away from something. It is the sense of knowing that doesn't always make logical sense, but always feels right. When dealing with a manipulator, trusting your intuition is one of the most important lessons you can learn. A manipulator thrives on logic, reasoning, and persuasion. They will often try to convince you that their way is the only way, or that their actions are justified, even when your gut tells you otherwise. Your intuition may signal that something is off, but a manipulator will try to override that feeling with charm, logic, or guilt. They may convince you that your feelings are irrational, that your instincts are wrong, or that you're just being paranoid. This is why it's vital to trust your gut. Intuition is not just a feeling, it's a wisdom that comes from deep within. When we trust our intuition, we are tuning in to our inner wisdom, which is often more accurate than any external reasoning. A manipulator's job is to make you second-guess yourself, to make you doubt your own senses and perceptions. Spiritual teachings remind us that wisdom and intuition come from stillness. When we take time to meditate, reflect, and quiet our minds, we allow our intuition to speak clearly. We learn to distinguish between our thoughts and our deeper wisdom. And when we listen to that wisdom, we are no longer vulnerable to manipulation. The next time you feel that quiet voice inside warning you, listen. Don't let anyone convince you that your feelings are wrong. When your gut tells you something is off, take it seriously. Trust that your inner wisdom is guiding you toward what is best for you. It will not lead you astray. Manipulators will try to convince you to ignore your intuition, but the more you listen to it, the stronger it becomes. And eventually, you will be able to see through their tactics without hesitation. Your intuition is your safeguard. Honor it. In a world where we are often tested by the actions and words of others, it is important to protect our inner peace. By keeping these 7 things hidden from manipulators, we create a space where we can grow, heal, and thrive without unnecessary interference. The true strength lies not in the approval of others, but in our ability to understand and trust ourselves. When we live with awareness, wisdom, and compassion, we are no longer vulnerable to those who seek to control us. We live free,